Hey, how's the Wi-Fi here?
Not bad. Stronger.
All right, what's up, folks? Hope you guys can hear me. Wi-Fi is kind of so-so here. Uh, just wanted to just address the current drop in the Dow Jones and the BTC price and my personal thoughts on it. So let's just wait just a minute for more people to stream in, and then we can get this stream on get this stream on the road. Having a little bit of a cough. Was a little bit down from Europe, and then now in Bali, and had to speak on the panel a little bit. So I'll just share a little bit of my thoughts. This is more like a reflection video. I know it's a little bit late in the US. Europe, I think it's still very early in the morning. So I think this is just more to address what's happening and what you kind of should do. Okay, so what happened was the Dow Jones dropped a good 800 plus points, and the S&P dropped a good 3%. Okay, so a little bit about the stock market first. Right now, I think a lot of bankers, okay, investment bankers, they are controlling the majority of the wealth, right? Private banks, okay, especially, and hedge funds, family offices, they will all usually sing the same song. Okay, so when you see anything happen on the news, obviously it's already too late. So if you're someone who is already a stock investor, especially a retail investor, you would usually take the hit. So what is the word on the street? The word on the street is that people are going towards less risky investments. As we all know, the tech stocks have been driving the majority of the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, and that has led to year on year highs. Okay, so there's a lot of growth from the tech side. So right now they are cashing out. When they cash out, they go to bonds. Right. So this is happening collectively along the way. All right. So they've been reducing their clients' positions and going into bonds. Bonds tend to be a little bit more consistent. It's based on a quarterly yield or semi-annually yield. All right. And then what happens is that especially we are in tech, by the way. Okay. Okay. Bonds have been selling off. No, 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 no. Look at the current recent news. Bonds, you're talking about risk on bonds. You're looking at emerging market bonds. Emerging market bonds are taking a hit. We're talking about high credit rating bonds. Look at the other news, my friend. We're talking about today. So what happens is that they're going to be more risk off. They're going into more less risky assets. So what is happening to our side, the BTC side, as we all know, is that you're gonna experience a dip, right? And this dip happens occasionally. If you chart a daily a triangle, you will notice that yes, it's a descending triangle. But if you look at the longer, larger time frames, it is quite on the mark. So it dropped to about $6,055. If you are probably looking at Tether, which usually no one really wants to keep too long in, you will see it drop maybe about to 6,200. Now you're seeing it relatively supported. Now, take note, if there's further downside in the stock market, the tech side, and depending on which industry takes the hit, we are going to take the hit as well. So just make sure that if you find the prices of BTC and certain altcoins relatively attractive, please take note. Hey, Hourglass, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while, bro. So anyway, as I was saying, take note that if you see the dip happen right now, you go in relatively conservatively, but the levels are pretty optimal. Yeah, I know you're just putting out, but saying that I'm wrong is like, wow, making me look really bad when I'm actually the one that did the research already. Emerging market bonds are going to take a hit because emerging market bonds have always known to be highly speculative. Okay, this is kind of like the overall space at the moment. So please take note, there is a relevance going to happen very soon, especially when bug comes out, especially when bug comes out or EVS X comes out. You're definitely gonna see a correlation to everything already. All right. So just take note, okay? Just take note. These, like I said, now look at things in a holistic manner. Don't look at things from a one angle perspective. don't think that crypto is the one all be all asset. Yes, it is definitely going to still be the asset class, or at least one of the asset class that will give us a great ROI over time. But take note that when the stock market is being pulled down, now this is your chance to observe this correlation, because in the past we never really linked too much into the stock market. When we gave comments about the stock market, people were wondering whether is it relevant or not, and we were trying to figure out the correlation. Now it seems like there seems to be a little bit of correlation. Don't forget, right now there's also the trade wars going on. The whole market is definitely very jittery. But you know what? Now that you see the sell off, right? Now that you see the sell off, you can actually maybe look at some stocks. But I really feel that the stock market is still too overvalued. I really feel that no matter what kind of drop, right, it's still too overvalued. So a few cryptocurrencies that we will always be looking at are the EOS, NPXS, Litecoin, Bitcoin, of course, Huobi, Binance token, and I think we can look at Neo and ADA as well. So, like I said, we are keeping it very, very consistent. And if you notice, the ones that I just mentioned will always have the highest volumes. I mean, I look at the cryptocurrencies that are basically in the top exchanges. Yeah. So I'm pretty confident about the ones that I've just mentioned. You don't have to take it as some kind of financial advice. I'm just sharing what I've been picking up or what I've been dollar cost averaging into. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example how patient that you gotta be. Okay. Um, okay. So right now, if you look at okay, I'm gonna share a little bit about my thoughts also. Right. I mentioned that because I was speaking at the panel in the X Blockchain Summit. So the topic was the state of cryptocurrency media and accountability. So if you look at the whole space right now, a lot of things are hyped up, all right, and they are hyped up to the point where there are not enough developers building on all smart contract protocols. So let's say you mentioned Icon. Okay, I mean this is just taking an example from the chat. Let's say you mentioned Icon. Are there enough people able to build dApps on Icon, right? Because there's so many smart contract protocols. You see, so there's ADA, there's Ethereum itself, there's Quantum, there's so many. Okay, there's just so many, and there's ELF. You know, there are public blockchain protocols, and then there are private blockchain protocols, and then there are community related inter community smart contract protocols. So there are so many protocols. Which one is the best place and the best form factor, right? So this is something that I saw, okay, that Pundi X did as a chart. There are right now 1.5 billion I think there are 1.5 billion dApps, apps, applications, 1.5 billion, or is it 1.5 billion in terms of users have applications, applications, and there are only 1,000 dApp users, active dApp users per day or something like that. So you notice that the ratio is like kind of not really right. You know, if you're having 1,000 active users who are active on dApps, and you have 1.5 billion active users on apps, you see what is the disparity there. It's such a huge gap that then you ask yourself, why do you want to have so many decentralized application smart contract protocols? You see where I'm coming from? So kind of like when I was there, we saw the release of the X blockchain or Function X, right? That's a public blockchain that MPXS or Pundi X is going to formulate. Good day, Multiman 40, and of course the moderator. Alright, man. So yes. So as I was saying, right now these smart contract protocols, everyone is now try to secure the market share, try to build a community of developers. When they build a community of developers, right, that's when you know that, okay, build on my platform, I will build also the hardware and infrastructure for you to build on. I'll make sure that it's going to be easy. But developers also want to have an audience, or at least the potential where if I create an app, right, there's enough community that they will support. and download, or else I'm wasting my time building it. It's just the same where you create a news. Let's say I'm a content creator. I won't want to go to an obscure social media platform that has no audience, right? So if I'm creating my content, I mean, yeah, sure, I can upload to multiple social media sites, but why would I bother to upload my content onto a platform that maybe has so little users per day, right? It doesn't make sense. You see, so it's the same thing for developers. If I'm going to be spending hours on end creating a application or that, right, I want to be able to build it on somewhere. And right now, it's of course iOS, right, Apple Store, and on Play Store. Android and iOS. You see where I'm coming from. So those are the leading sites where you want to create your applications for. Then everything else is whatever, man. Hey, what's up? Hey, selamat siang. Yes, correct. Hey, Marvin. So, selamat pagi. Is it? Yeah, it's pagi, but also siang also. Okay. So yeah, so back to your portfolio, guys. Let's just put it this way. If cryptocurrencies is something that you strongly believe in, okay, this is something that I feel that you should always take a long-term plan. And after having the chance to speak to Zach, Pete Huang, who is the creator of all these products, right? You have your iPhone X, iPhone X, your X phone, your X phone that can do a swap, right, between blockchain mode and Android mode. Blockchain mode and your traditional mode. Okay, I think at the end of the day, it's gonna be really it's we are really far away, guys. Trust me, we're really far away, and this is just sitting and speaking to people who are building a business in blockchain. They are the ones that really can feel and sense the thing. Okay, is the X phone going to help Pundi X? Definitely. Okay, RJ Jamal, I cannot reveal the full plan because I'm not part of the company. But let's just think of why the X phone kind of matters. Okay, let's just put it this way. Right now, can you do staking on your mobile phone? You cannot. Right now, can we really chat like group chat, and have validation of who these people are when we go on Telegram? We cannot. But if we have a blockchain network that we can toggle back and forth, I think if you are following Pundi X, you probably see, oh, okay, I can toggle in blockchain mode, and I can toggle in I can toggle back to my normal traditional phone mode. Okay, so right now, if I'm on Telegram, honestly, I do not know who I'm talking to most of the time. But the demonstration yesterday, although it was amongst the nodes within the vicinity and it will be based on the internet connection at the time, you can validate who you are talking to because everyone has a unique IP address. Okay, same. Okay, but on 4G, you notice that if you're on 4G or telecommunications channel, your address is always switching. So as for the blockchain, it's very specific. So if let's say I have my network on the this FX protocol, right? I've already I've already put my name on the Pundi X network, for example. It will be unique, so it'll be .Ryan, something like that. So you will know it's me, right? And if you need further validation, I will definitely put up certain things, maybe a photo, maybe certain things that I don't mind revealing. Let's say, for example, my highest education cert or whatever. This is just to validate that that's me. But however, at the moment, don't expect to have group chat. Don't expect to have movie streaming. But it can be done. It's just a matter of giving it time to evolve. So that's what I kind of saw. I can envision it now. Not only can I stake on my phone, I can also be a mobile node. You see, everyone's talking about being mobile and whatnot, but Pundi X already achieved that. Now the only thing is finding enough developers to start creating the great dApps, right? And it takes time. It takes time, guys. So when you have a product, now back to the actual stuff. When you have a product, means that when you have people buying your product, you have revenue. When you have revenue, potentially you could have profit. When you have profit, they could potentially also buy back the tokens from the market and reduce the supply. So there's no way, okay, I've confirmed this. There's no way that if Pundi X, okay, we just give Pundi X as an example. Nothing is set in stone. Okay, these are just my opinion, but I just want to share this with you because these were all supposed to be in my reflections. So let's say, for example, Pundi X decides to go IPO. What does that mean? Unfortunately, it's not going to be okay, guys. For you guys who have been supporting us, you can convert your MPXS tokens into shares. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen for any project. Okay, not possible because of the security and regulations behind cryptocurrencies and the way they fundraise. That will never happen for any crypto. It shouldn't happen. If they decide to IPO, the fundraising that comes in and everything for IPO will be specifically via fiat. Okay? Because when you do IPO, it's considered a security because there's an expectation of a return. When you do crypto, all right, everybody expects a return, but it's not recognized in that way. Okay? It's not recognized in that way. So take note of this. How a company is going to kind of give you back something, right? Is the integrity of the founders, whether they want to return you something because you help them out in the ICO phase or you supported by buying the tokens and utilizing the tokens along the way while they're developing all these things, because without us they don't have a chance to build all the products, right? Without the investors, there's no way that they're going to build the product. So I hope that kind of answers your question, RJ Jamal, because you need to take this information and apply it to every single cryptocurrency that you are going to buy in future. This is how it's going to work, because you cannot think like, oh, okay, is it going to pump next week? Then you ask yourself, why should it pump? You know what I mean? Like for example, yesterday the X phone is actually a really it's okay. It's not like a very innovative thing. Okay, look, it's a blockchain phone, right? But is it going to be something else in the future? Could it be something bigger in the future? Yes, definitely it can be something in the future because now you have a totally different network that you can function on, right? And you have the other side, which is the traditional, so you can toggle back and forth. I think that's very smart in a way as well, don't you think? Because everyone's been talking about doing mobile this, mobile that, but no one actually like has walked the talk. You know what I mean? Everyone will just create a dApp and just integrate it into our existing phone. That's also possible. But what Pundi X is trying to achieve is try to see whether they can also develop the hardware and also the software aspect as well. So the operating systems behind it. So that's kind of like very encouraging if you think about it. Okay, so now if you're someone who's creating a portfolio, you're new to this channel, you're watching it for the very first time, you're a little bit lost about what the heck I'm saying. Cryptocurrency should be only a very very small part of your portfolio if you're someone who is above 40. I think I'm just going to define it. If you're someone who's above 40, all right, honestly speaking, you may not want to touch cryptocurrencies at this current juncture, because if you know very little about it, try to start reading up, visit other channels. You can watch my past content if you like, but I think at the end of the day, you want to really kind of understand the space a little bit more. What is blockchain? Why is cryptocurrencies relevant? Why do ICO projects create tokens? What is an ICO? All these things you have to formulate in your head. Are there any real developments in these projects? And the scary thing is 90% of the projects that are in this space are going to disappear. Okay, that's a guarantee. Okay, it is just a matter of how long, what kind of time horizon before they disappear. So please take note on that. And that applies to us. It's a good reminder for everyone who has been part of an ICO that nothing is set in stone, nothing is guaranteed. Ideals can change, business models can change, businesses could be bought up. And when businesses are bought up, it gets scary, right? Because once that buys up, it is a new management, right? And whether the new management chooses to honor the token holders, I mean, they can fuck us all up and just say, hey, you know, I'm only interested in the tech and the people. I don't have to honor the token holders, but that's just bad for reputation, because to build a community, that's why I say the community is actually a very powerful thing, and that is kind of like the intrinsic value that I notice that is keeping projects up. Community. And it's not just, oh, tech, great teams, sure, you need tech and great teams to push everything forward. But if you don't have a community supporting the project, right, and really having people who are always consistently sharing about, writing about a giving that undivided attention to the project, right? Honestly, if you do not see that in a cryptocurrency project, you better run for the hills, okay? And sometimes the community is fake. Sometimes, to the extent they may even continuously pay for that attention. So kind of take note, right? I mean, look, CG has been one of the longest communities, right? So if you are someone who is new, you want to really be part of the crypto space, perhaps you can consider joining our Telegram group. If you're someone who's not very chatty, you can always join the CG Market Watch. That's news that we update around the cryptocurrency sphere. We also do drop in a few trade setups occasionally. And last but not least, we have we also have a traders group or private investor group, right? But that is not open until 2019, January 2019, because we want to focus on the current private group. But I am open for private consultations, and that goes by an hourly rate. And if you really want to have that full insight on what's been going on, what's been happening, how's the space really like, is something that you should really find out before you create a portfolio in cryptocurrencies, because a lot of all these things like risk and everything like that, not many people speak about it, because risk is something that is so important, and managing that risk is so important that those who didn't follow the kind of recommendations or advice that I gave are really paying for it big time. Because this is the part where I've always mentioned, never go in more than 10%, more than 15%. Never go in with money that you have not set aside, liquidity and all that. You have to start planning ahead, guys. This is something that is going to change if we're going to hit a 1 trillion market cap. And if you are not ready, right, it's just a shame, because it will hit the 1 trillion in time. But the question is it going to happen next year when BUC opens up? Or is it going to happen over a course of 3 to 5 years, right? As the tech develops and as companies such as Pundi X could potentially start generating revenue. And this is something that is very important. And if they start declaring and doing accounting and showing their books, you know that they are here and they're serious and they're here to play, okay? And they're setting themselves up to be one of the market industry leaders that we know today, right? By the way, just as a quick disclaimer, I'm not paid to be here. I'm not paid to be here. I'm someone who is looking for information, and information is expensive. We are funding our team to go from country to country to cover all these various worthy conferences, right? So we can really get the insight, because if majority are just shilling, then it's no point. Okay, so I'll take a little bit of questions for the next 10 minutes, okay? So if you all have questions, please feel free to just put it in the chat. I'll try to address it. So, John Lin, Ryan, what do you think of Pundi X's coin supply? I'm not too sure about the supply. Okay, why are you concerned about the supply? That's the next thing, right? If a coin has too much in terms of supply, it's more of what is the use case? What is Pundi X's business model? POS, right? Point of transaction or point of sales, the POS system. If you have such little supply, right, how are you going to get, you know what I mean? So you have to know what does it do in terms of business. Also, are they going to move to a proof of stake? Nobody knows, because right now they have not defined the tokenomics. Once the public blockchain is up, you need to give them some time, okay? So once the public blockchain chain is up, potentially there could be master nodes or super nodes or whatever you want to call it, or you can have little stakers that will help the transaction, because you need to have stakers, guys. Because if they are not proof of work, they are going to be proof of stake. That means your mobile phone could potentially have to hold the tokens to help do the validation, and that will in turn generate transactional fees. Because when you send any kind of data across the blockchain network, it is always a certain fee. Now, the fee is determined by the gas, right? And also if they're going to create a public blockchain, is it going to be free to create these dApps? I don't think so, because if you want to have a dApp that could potentially generate revenue or revenue from the network, then it cannot be free. to create a smart contract always requires gas, right? So most of MPXS at the moment now is ERC20, okay? So it came from the Ethereum side. And right now, they want to create their own public blockchain because integration is important, okay? So they are going to be formulating their own blockchain. So you got to give it some time, okay? Where do you see Pundi going in terms of price? There we go again, Jamal. In terms of price, okay, here has their focus shifted from POS to mobile phone. How does the phone integrate the token? Okay, the phone integrating the token is something that I do not know, okay, because they have not defined that at the moment. They only launched the phone, but think about it, okay, just think about it, RJ. If you can stake on your phone, that means you are one of the nodes, okay, you are one of the mobile nodes, because everybody has to connect to some node in order to communicate, right? And when you own the phone, firstly, obviously you can use MPXS to maybe purchase the phone. I do not know, but what I understand is that potentially you definitely can use your MPXS to buy the phone. After you buy the phone, you become one of the nodes, okay? When once you become one of the nodes, you're going to be able to be that connector or that validator. You need more, okay? Let's just face it. You need more you need more nodes in your country in order for all these things to function. And obviously you want more nodes around the world. You cannot it cannot function with just 5 nodes in your country, okay? It'll be slow as fuck. Okay? So give it some time. Now, in terms of price, look, I think you're not listening, my friend. I already mentioned, as the revenue starts to pick up, you're going to be able to see them buy back. Okay? Please share your biggest 2 altcoin holdings. That's easy. At the moment, it is Bitcoin and it is a mixture of Binance and Huobi. Thanks for talking about Pundi X. Hey man, I mean look, the, we've been in Pundi X for God knows like how long. Okay, let's just be very honest. Okay, we were one of the early investors during the ICO. Okay, that's no secret. We've really watched them grow, guys. Okay, let's just put it this way: we've seen them ever since they had such a small team. Okay, right now you know how big is the team? From 17, I think 15 developers. Now they have bloody 70 developers from China. I think they have China, Malaysia. Guys, I cannot review what they're building, but they are building a lot of stuff, man. Seriously, I was like, okay. So I did ask Danny, could I reveal that you have all this? Then I'm like saying, no, you cannot. So I was like, shit, okay. Because I want to be as transparent. I'm not trying to get you excited, by the way. I'm just telling you that I've seen this company grow. And when I say I seen, it's not like reading it on websites or some shit. I'm someone who is just looking at I'm just someone who's looking at the fact that they've been developing. Are you no longer supporting quantum? No, 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 no. Now we come to this. Okay. Look, Manjira, it's not that I'm not supporting quantum. We still have quantum. It's just that we have reduced our allocation because at the end of the day, we got in at around $30. Okay, we sold everything at the high because that's a trade as well. When everything goes parabolic, no matter what, I will sell. Okay, doesn't matter how fantastic or whatever, I will sell. I will lock in profit. And when the price of quantum dropped, I actually locked it back in. Now the question is, how many developers are developing on quantum, right? So it's the same thing. Everyone needs a chance to grow, guys. I've already mentioned many times, this whole space needs like fucking years, okay? So please take your time to come into the space. You don't have to get greedy. Yes, it's still a bear market. Isn't it fantastic? It's been fucking 10 months of a bear market. We've been at 6,000 for I think a good 3 months to 4 months already. You would have been able to buy every time you've been patient and you just queue at 6,001 to 6,200, you'll be fine. Okay? Malik, actually ontology, right? We do give trades, but personally, we gave it from a trades perspective. I have not read ontology's white paper or I have connections to the team. You see, to be fair, everyone's busy. So maybe if we see ontology along the way, or they create something, or they come to Singapore, or I go overseas and I happen to see them, I want to start talking about projects that I have a connection to. Not connection by money, please. I want to be able to talk about projects confidently. That means I've spoken to the founders, I've spoken to the owners. That's real investigative work. That is what I call fundamental analysis, because you are really talking to them. So you kind of size them up. And when you go to, and why don't you just go to conferences? Have you all been going to conferences and just speaking to the projects that are there? How do you feel, right? Do you feel that they are just, they're just just blowing smoke up your ass, or you kind of see that they have something going on? Now this is kind of like what you need to do, right? For yourself, right? For your own team, I think for your own portfolio, you just need to take care and monitor how everything is going on in the space. Now you don't have to keep going to conferences over conferences. Nobody has the fucking time, okay? If you're not full time in this space, don't bother. Every 3 months, go to the biggest one. Okay, every 3 months, just go to the biggest one. Or if every 6 months, go to the biggest one. That's it, right? Don't go to the small ones. Go to the big ones, right? Then you get a feel. Okay, these are the projects that I've noticed they have been appearing over and over again. After I've seen this fella at the conference, I noticed that hey, their Medium is very active. Their Twitter is very active. Okay, that's fine. Let's just test out the community. How active is the community? What the heck is the community talking about? Is it always just about, hey, when are you all listing? When are you all listing? Are you all listing on Binance? Are you all listing on Huobi? If the talk is like that, right, that means majority is very pleb. It's very, very pleb. So it didn't really grow. Or they're talking about, where's my airdrop? Where's my airdrop? Where's my airdrop, admin? Okay, then you know already it's a fake community already. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of like get a feel on where this is all about. Okay? Get a feel, guys. Kind of see where's the language. Alright, so yeah, I mean, yeah, bro, BTC dump is quite a while, my friend. I think that happened like last night. Yes, you can refill.
Ask them to go coffee and book Pundi X.
Oh, okay. Yes, and another thing, for those who are already having Pundi X and you have a Huobi account, go and vote for Pundi X, guys. They are now they are running for listing on Huobi. Potentially there may be some market movement based on if they successfully get listed on Huobi. You see, so now they're moving on to another large exchange. Yeah, so this is kind of like sorry, oh shit, sorry, there's a call. Hello, shit, oh man, hello, sorry, there was a call that came in. Oh man. Hello, hi. Sorry, I think the call. Oh. Okay, sorry, there was a call that came in. I'm not sure, my whole thing hang. The whole thing hung, and I'm actually hello, okay, sorry guys, because there was a call that came in, and my wife just called because she thought that we were having because there was a small little earthquake that happened 200 kilometers away. So I hope you can hear me. Anyway, I don't think I can just stop and restart the thing. But yes, that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will definitely update you guys as and when I have something to say about the markets. So take care, and I'll see you very, very soon, guys. So like I said, stay safe. Give this video a like if you felt that it helped you out, and also if you're not subscribed to the channel, please feel free to do so. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream. See you guys.